what's up and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to tell you, I have been trying to make this video for like 2 weeks. I'm going to kind of take you through what happened last weekend. I recorded this video and planned on posting it on Sunday last week, but then I was just like, I can't pull myself together. But I'm in a lot better spirits now, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's really important to know and understand that not everything on the homestead is always fun and the joyous things with animals that we have. Sometimes things get really shitty, and I'm gonna kind of take you guys through that journey that I had last weekend, emotions and stuff that came up, and it was a really difficult time for me. So first off, I'm gonna show you some clips from last week, so let's take a look. So I'm currently on my way to the clinic. Can't see a fucking thing. I left like 2 hours ago, but now I have to go back because I literally just got home. I'm covered in mud and I need to get some fluids. Bandit has a fever of 106 and I'm panicking. I always panic when they have a fever, especially when it's really not that hot outside. I mean, it's 54, so I don't want to shave him down. So I'm going to get some fluids in him. I'm going to call the vet and see what they recommend. If I can do blood work at the clinic and then send it over to them and kind of take it from there. So yeah, let's see what happens. Holy shit balls, this was not what I expected on my day before I am now off for the weekend, and now I have to go and pet sit for 3 weeks, and my goat is like dying, and he is my buck, so he is my breeding line, and he's like fucking dying. So I'm so stressed. It's all good, we're gonna be fine. Say I am like completely losing the plot. I am working on about 30 minutes of sleep today. So I've just headed back from the vet and I picked up some goat aspirin and some antibiotics, and we are gonna go home and give those to Bandit. I did already treat him with some fluids this morning. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things start to look better soon. I'm like panic struck by this whole situation, especially because tomorrow I leave for 3 weeks, and fortunately I can come home, so I'm going to be able to come home and feed him and give him his meds, because Tyler would like not know what to do with himself if he had to do that. but I just, not what I needed. Not what I needed at all. So I'm going to run by the clinic and get more fluids, because I picked up fluids yesterday in a panic struck situation because I was like, oh, he's going to die. And I picked up like 2 used bags of fluids that were like half used. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just take these. I'm going to go and get a full bag so that we have enough to get him hopefully cooled down. His fever has dropped, which is a good thing. I gave him some B12 just to kind of boost things. And I gave him an antibiotic injection of penicillin this morning, so I'll have to give him this stuff tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and give him the like Banamine, which is going to reduce his fever and reduce any kind of like pain and inflammation that's going on. So yeah, happy Friday. So as you can see from some of those clips, Bandit got really sick over the last couple of days, and I have been fighting with myself to whether or not I should make this video, but I feel like it's important to show all aspects of homesteading, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is one of those bad moments, and unfortunately Bandit wasn't getting any better. As of Thursday when I came home from work, he was having a temperature of about 106, and then I called the vet. They can't come to our property, which is the worst part. I have to take him to them. And at the time I had called them and I was like, look, this is a situation, I think he has pneumonia. Is there any way that you guys can just send me the meds? And my doctor, my large animal doctor, is great, so she was like, yeah, sure, not a problem. So she sent me some antibiotics and some Banamine to reduce his fever, and it was all hunky-dory. I gave him the meds and he was actually doing a lot better that day. He was playing with Jessie, he was headbutting her, and everything seemed fine. And then on Saturday, I was due to actually come here to start pet sitting, and I went to go and check on him before I left and maybe give him some more fluids if he needed it, and he was not any better. He was worse. He had still a persistent fever, and he was actually having tremors, and I had not seen him lay down in like 2 days. So I went to pull him out of his house and he ran off, and then he started running in circles, and it was like distinct circles he was running in, and then he fell over and he was stuck on his back, and then he started seizing. And it was like I was just beside myself. I was stood outside in my pajamas because it was like early in the morning and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I ended up picking him up. I was then in my pajamas covered in mud because he was in the mud. I took him into the shed and I texted Tyler from inside because I told him I was going to check on him and I was going to leave. So I texted Tyler and I was like, he's not doing any better. And Tyler came out and we talked a little bit about it, and I said to him that he was acting neurological. He was foaming at the mouth, which obviously I think a lot of people know is a big sign for rabies, and just the way he was acting, I didn't feel comfortable allowing him to continue to be in. I didn't think he was there 100% with us, and I didn't want him to be in pain any longer. So I called my office and I spoke to the temporary doctor that we have there, and she said that she would go ahead and put him to sleep. So that's what we did, and it was probably the most difficult decision I think I've ever made. Obviously I knew it had to be done. I can't, if it was rabies, I can't keep him, I can't fix it. And there's only one way to know if it's rabies, and that is to put him to sleep and then send him for an autopsy, which in animal terms is a necropsy. So I took him on Monday morning, and I'm hoping to hear back from them maybe today about what at least his rabies results came out as, because it was potentially rabies. They're gonna let me know if that's the case. And honestly, I'm a little bit beside myself. I don't know how to process it all, but I have been fighting with myself for the last 2 days to get off of the couch and stop moping around, because I think I found it extremely hard with not being at home and not being with Tyler. He's my rock. He's like, I couldn't do a lot of the things that I do without him. And even though he probably doesn't realize it, like I'm like a lost soul without him when it comes to these kind of situations. And it's been really tough the last couple of days. But I wanted to share it because this is what homesteading life is. I can't be at home right now because I have to watch someone else's dogs so that I can earn extra money, which can go into our home and into building our barn. And it sucks because it couldn't have come at a worse time, but I also think that it was a good time because I knew I was going to be here for 3 weeks. With me being here for 3 weeks, that means that Tyler would have had to have dealt with Bandit and he wouldn't have known what to look for. So in a way it's good, in a way it's not so good. But this is the life that we chose, and this is the life that we live. I have to keep telling myself that, like, every day, that I chose this. This is what I want to do with my life. But it's difficult. It's not easy, and that's something that I think a lot of people that are interested in this lifestyle have to realize. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need bunches of money to be able to do this. You don't need a lot of land. You can have a homestead on like a 1/4 acre of land, but you have to be prepared to make decisions and make them quick and accept the decisions that you've made. With life comes death, and we've had a loss, but we are gaining a life in a couple months that is coming from that loss. And Bandit will have a baby here in a couple months, and we'll be able to move on from it. But it's something that isn't easy, and I didn't want to make this video. I don't want to cry on the internet, but I haven't stopped crying for like 3 days. And yeah, so not a super exciting video this week, but I felt like it was something that was really important. It needed to be shared, that not everything is great in my life. As much as my pictures and my videos may say it is, it's not always great. And I want to be real, and I want to be able to show the world what our life is. And like I said in the beginning, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Spring is around the corner, so we will be planting foods, and babies will be coming very soon, and things will get a lot happier and more uplifting. So as you guys can see, it was a pretty rough weekend and heartbreaking, and I did get pretty emotional and was kind of beside myself for a couple of days. But I figured myself out and pulled myself out of the little rut that I was in and back to it. So on some positive notes, I had kind of like made the decision myself that I wasn't going to get another buck. I was gonna kind of hold on to what I've got. Let's see what comes when Daisy has her babies, which are due in April from Bandit. And then I came across this beautiful little boy. He again is a registered Nigerian dwarf. He is blue-eyed and he is polled, which means he's not going to have any horns, and he has the potential to breed offspring that will also not have any horns, as well as maybe potentially having some blue eyes as well. So exciting stuff coming in the next month. I'm going to pick him up the last week of April, so we should maybe have Bandit and Daisy's babies back or born by then. So yeah, sad week last week, but more of a positive one this week. I've been pet sitting, so I've had these 3 labs. They're agility dogs, and they've been a lot of fun. It's been a bit crazy for me. I've been going back and forth, home, work, here. But it's all good. I'm a lot better. I'm a lot happier. I definitely, our results, so that's it, our results. Everybody wants to know, did he have rabies? He did not test positive for rabies, but he did come back with a disease called listeriosis. And listeriosis is basically a disease that he had somehow contracted either from the soil or from like bad hay, bad grain. I'm kind of thinking it's probably the hay, because the hay that I've got is really good quality, but it's such good quality, it flies all over the place. And with all the rain and snow that we had, I think that a bunch of the hay got put, like mushed into the mud and started to mold there. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So it gives me a little bit of ease knowing that it wasn't rabies, because the rest of my herd isn't at risk, but they are at risk at listeriosis. So we've been cleaning up when I've had time, cleaning up all of the scraps of hay that they're not eating, which normally I would do, but with all the rain and stuff, I just never did it because it was just like a nightmare over there. So all is good though. It's good news, I guess. I'm being pestered by a puppy right now. She's not a puppy, she's like a year-old. But yeah, so we have a new baby coming, and by, I think maybe by June, so me and Tyler have been like talking about finances and things like that, and I'm thinking by June I should have my barn. I have been scrimping and saving every dollar and dime I have to make sure that I can buy this barn. And it is super exciting. I can't wait. I'm so excited to like have a barn, and to my biggest excitement is I want to have somewhere that I can sweep the floor. That is what I'm excited about, to keep everything nice and clean and organized. So yeah, that has been my week. It's been a rough week, but all in all, we have a new baby coming, and we have some actual babies being born in a couple weeks. So there is nothing to be sad about. There is, but I'm getting over it and I'm doing fine about it. And it's just a way of life. It's just the way things go. So we did actually get Bandit cremated, and I will have a little spot for him in the new barn, where he will stay with us and rest in peace. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a kind of long-ish emotional one, but I felt like it was really important to share it, and that people know that it's not always great here. I do love my life and I love all aspects of my life, but sometimes bad things happen and we lose things that we love. It's okay. It's okay to be sad, but you have to get over it eventually. So on to bigger things. So if you did like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. I got a new like intro. Tell me what you guys think. I don't know if I'm like super into it yet. I kind of like having the videos as intro, but I wanted to do something that was a little more fancy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week.